How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's Two Cents, along with my fellow co-host, Skylar from Skylar's Woodworking.
Hi, everyone.
And Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Howdy, all.
All right. Let's see
So
here.
they're starting to trickle in there.
Yeah. Slowly but surely. So, how was your guys' week?
Busy.
Same. Yeah.
I have a crazy story that I want to share. When I'm not seeing anything in the comments, but I'm seeing people in the live. So as always, if you guys are in the live and you want to let us know where you're checking in from, let us know where you're checking in from. If you have any questions, let us know as well. So my basement should be finally back up this weekend. That was crazy. Yeah. So we got back to back storms. I got at least 8 inches. So my basement took a real big hit.
Yeah, we got last couple of days, we got a couple of inches. We're supposed to get some more tomorrow, which is good because not far from me, there was a forest fire this past week.
Yeah, that air quality, man, it hit us hard.
Yeah.
When I saw all over Facebook everyone complaining about it, I didn't think it was a big deal. And so I actually went outside and I saw it for myself and I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I can only imagine that if our air quality was that bad and you can actually see the smoke in the air.
So I can't because I'm on the coast, right? So like
Right.
even the forest fire that was here, it was all going east. So it was just going out into the ocean. Yeah, I know some people in Toronto, and they had, for a couple of days there, they had the worst air quality in the world.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It has not been too bad here. The same thing. I'm on the coast. So, but one day was like the sun was weird neon color. And
I took a picture of it actually.
Yeah, but other than that, it's been pretty good. And we had no rain. We had yesterday just sprinkled for a little bit, but not big rain or anything.
Yeah, I got tons of rain. So Ordinary Woodworker said hello all from Northern Washington. Hello. Hey. Thank you for checking in. Tud said good evening, creators. Hello.
At least he didn't call us influencers.
Right.
Tim, you were very quiet this week. Must be he had a big T-shirt order to work on.
Steve gets mad when I call him influencer. I'm not an influencer.
No, he doesn't like that term.
Yeah, I don't care what you buy.
ETC 940 said good evening from Chicago. Hello. My neighbor.
Hey, Jim.
And Derek Smiley Woodwork says happy Wednesday, everyone from Idaho. Yeah, happy hump day, everyone. And the last check-in says good evening from Mobile, Alabama, from Trade
Alabama.
Nice one. So I have a story I wanted to share. I know we don't normally try to get too deep into politics, but I thought this was appropriate to share because I think that I always say it's inappropriate to be racist, but I won't argue with you for being racist in traffic, right? Right or wrong, we've all cut somebody off and they yell at you a slur and you're just like, sorry, you just kind of own it, take it, and you're in the fault. Other than that, I don't think it's cool, right? And we're way beyond the 50s and the 40s when all that was really, really heavy, right? I think we're kind of a diverse culture now, a melting pot, so to speak. So when I bring up the races and I'm talking about this, it'll make more sense at the end. But in the Chicagoland area, some people are very rude. I posted in the comments on Facebook today that people from Chicago are not as kind as people from Canada. Canadians tend to be a little kinder. But I was driving down the road, an older gentleman in his, I'd say, late 60s, big heavy load of 2x6x16s, all cedar, flew out the back of his truck. It's across 4 lanes of traffic. It's on Ogden, which is a very busy road in the Chicagoland area. So I jumped out of the truck and I just start piling the wooden stacks of 9 to kind of try to put him behind his truck and pull it out of traffic. So then I kind of look at him like, you grab one side, I grab one side, and he kind of gave me that look like I can't do it. So I grabbed it from the center and I lifted it about 3 inches off the ground and I sat it back down like, okay, this is heavy, right? So I just said, reposition, spread your legs, get ready. And the second time I lifted it, and I closed my eyes. When I opened my eyes, the second time I lifted it, it felt like I could lift it with 2 fingers. And I said, what the heck? Like it was so light. So I looked to my left and there's a Mexican guy standing there. I looked to my right and there's a black guy standing there. So without anyone saying anything to me, without saying, hey, do you know, without any kind of interaction at all, as soon as I lifted it, they just grabbed and lifted it too. So we did 3 bundles of those, throws in the back of his truck. There's 2 stragglers like way out in the road. Some other white guy runs out there, he grabs it, he throws it in the truck. And the old guy who was driving was like, you know what, man? Thank you guys. You guys are a lot stronger than me. Thank you for doing this. And I kind of looked around, everybody kind of smiled, jumped in their cars and took off. But the point that I bring all that up, the reason that I mentioned the races is because right now, with all this politics, it's building a lot of walls and it's becoming a racial thing more than a political thing. And for a moment in time, for that couple minutes, it didn't matter if you're black, white, Mexican. It was 4 men helping another man, and that was it. You know, and I just think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the reason we do this type of group, because we're just helping each other. We're willing to help each other. We don't make any money doing this. You know, and anything for me, it's an expense. It's like $1,200 just for this shop talk, you know, to be on StreamYard a year. But I enjoy this because of helping people. So I just wanted to encourage people right now that I think everyone's going through a tough time. You never know, like what they say, the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? Just that one thing that kind of trickles in that goes bad news or bad something. Just, you don't know what they're going through. So if you have the ability to help someone, if you have the ability to do the right thing, I encourage you to do so.
It's not any harder than doing the wrong thing. In fact, it's probably easier most of the time.
And it feels better too.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so just so many people would have just, you know, buzzed by, ran the horn, maybe even run over his wood. You know what I mean? Just that's Chicago sometimes for you. But yeah, but I tell you, it was definitely a weird feeling when I felt it so light. I was like, what? How's that possible? You know, I didn't even hear them come up. So I heard you guys kind of talking before I jumped on the live. I guess my mic wasn't working, so I had to get it working. Anything you guys can share, or do you guys got to keep some of that near your chest?
I have some things I can't share for sure.
Okay.
I released my Hey Gears 3D print video yesterday, which is doing quite well. Thank you to anybody who watched it.
Nice.
I think it's sending me a message that there's some changes happening in the 3D world.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it works out. Like, I think this is, you know, somebody left a comment about how cool this was. And I said, yeah, this is as close to the Star Trek replicator as we've gotten so far. So we'll see what happens. I do think it's going to change, particularly resin printing.
So resin printing, I don't have resin printer. But resin printing, my impression was the most people strayed because it was just messy.
It's smelly. It's messy. There's a lot of effort because you got to clean up the part once it's printed. You got to cure it. Then you got to cut off 1 billion supports. And it's like, yeah, this is a pain. I'm not going to do this. So, I mean, I've got in storage, I've got like 4 different resin printers, but I'm never going to use them.
So
this thing, no smell. And when you pull a part off, you have to dissolve the supports, but they dissolve in water. And when you're done, you get a part that's exactly the way you expect. It's done. You don't have to do anything to it. So
I have a buddy that makes replica models of real cars. And he resin prints it all, and it's all made to scale.
And then he hand paints, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the big difference here, right? This thing prints in color.
No, it's crazy.
Now, a lot of people, so the big gripe, because of this, I've been hanging out in the Hey Gears Facebook group. A lot of people are just ragging on Hey Gears because and us, like content creators, because nobody's publishing print times. And I said, and they think there's some kind of conspiracy here. And it's like, no, I said, I'll tell you, like I printed this little guy and it took a day.
Well,
But I passed the model to Hey Gears and said, how long will this take you to print? And they said 90 minutes. So it's like, yeah, okay, that's faster than SLA at that point. Now it's only one. If you want to print two, then you suffer. Whereas SLA, you can print, you fill the bed, and it takes the same amount of time, right?
right, with 1 or 20 doesn't matter. Yeah.
And people keep asking, what's the time? What's the print time? And I said it's irrelevant, like because I run a prototype printer. It's got half the features disabled, and one of the features that's disabled is performance. So,
wow.
like
So
mine clunks along.
Is performance mode the same thing as like a Bamboo lab printer? You would
It's not-
never put it.
No,
what I'm saying.
no.
It has to be like super high setting. There's
So
no reason to even exist.
It's not performance mode. It's the speed they want it to run at in production. It's just that in the pre-production ones, they just don't want to run them that fast, right? I mean, I think part of it has to do with whenever you run into a problem, the first thing they say is send me a log. Well, if you're printing something and by the time you actually send them the log, there's like 8 million more lines there because the thing is going so fast.
Right.
They have to sift through it, right? So I think that's one of the reasons. But I mean, it just boils down to, this thing is held together with spit and Kleenex, right? Like it's just not, it's not a production printer. It works, and at the speed it runs, it works well, but it runs really slow compared to what they have.
So I have to say, because I think it was last week you were saying you were going to stray away from these because you didn't want to be like a beta tester, so to speak.
Yes.
Some of these things.
Yes, and I did mention that to them.
So what made you have a difference of opinion?
Well, the change in opinion was the fact that I had to work on this one, actually. And I didn't run into any major like product kind of problems, but it was just, there was just a lot of little things, and it just dragged me down. And I finally said, look, I'm gonna have to give up on this. Well, I gave them a timeline. I said the X-Tool 01 is arriving around this date, and I have to have this done by that date because I told X-Tool I'd get their printer under a video before the end of the month. So it doesn't leave me much time. And they understood. But there was a couple points there where I said, look, I'm not doing this anymore. And they said, okay, well, fine. But then they would say, hey, we just found the problem you're complaining about. Try this. And it would work, right? So I'd be back on it.
David said, good evening from South Milwaukee. Hello. Thank you for checking in.
Hey, David.
So, Skylar, what about you? Is there anything you can share? Because I know you...
I don't know. Decided I'm not going to do any more laser reviews. Like zero. Like I'm not going to just weed out and say I'm only going to keep 1 or 2 brands. We're going to drop them all. I have 3 more videos that I need to do, and then I'm done. Hopefully, I'll get them all done by the end of next week.
You're wise beyond your years.
I don't want to do any more laser videos.
I'm trying to do hardcore cutbacks. Like I'm not committing to anything now for next year.
Yeah.
So Daniel, Daniel's very successful YouTube channel. Andy's very successful YouTube channel. There's a lot of people in the maker space that rarely ever do reviews at all. Like that it kind of be like an offer that they can't refuse. That's why they would do it, right? And they're more making something. And I think that's kind of the steps I want to take. And I think that my shop right now is so well rounded that if there's anything I really wanted to make, I could. Right. So I think I just want to start putting those tools to use and really start showing that.
That's where I'm headed to. But I mean, part of what I want to do in my channel is bring new innovation to people, right? So like the Hey Gears, you can 3D print like things that are actually like solid, right? Like these things are not like a FDM 3D print. So there's real innovation there, right? But then it's a trap, right? Like, because there's another one and another one and another one. Like I have a 3D printer coming, and I mean, this thing is amazing on paper. Like it will do a lot of things Bamboo won't do.
So the thing to me is this:
How do I
if
say
you
no?
do back to back product reviews, right? It's fine.
Well, it's not.
But
But yeah,
the problem is that the reason people are watching your channel is because product reviews, because you have the latest and greatest this, the latest and greatest that, the late. So if you're a channel that becomes deemed the latest and greatest gadgets or the latest and greatest this, that's what your target audience starts becoming.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't have it. So when that model is 2 years old, you won't get any traffic on those videos.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean, I don't want. I mean, I don't want to get to where Skylar is, where you just say I'm not doing any more reviews. But I'd like to find a balance.
yeah.
Right, and the balance gets skewed fairly easily. And I mean, there was a time when I was doing a lot of projects, and then I wasn't doing any like the reviews I was doing were like, oh, here's another open frame diode laser. But I think there is like what I'm trying to build is a triad here, right? Where you talk about innovation, the business, like how do you actually run a business, and here's some projects you can build, right? Those are the kind of three things I've always wanted to focus on. And I've done like no business videos so far this year, or one maybe, and absolutely no project videos. I have lots of projects, but I haven't done any videos on them, and it's killing me.
By the way, Sky, I'm loving all these projects you're posting on the Facebook group and YouTube channel. I caught up today, and so if you got 1 million likes from me today,
I did. I was like, oh, Rick has some free time.
I've been
so the board you built with
so I want
the board you built with the ninja sword on it, was that a like, were you contracted for that, or is it just one you built?
I actually saw that design on another YouTuber, and he sells the pattern. So I bought the pattern, and I was like, I gotta try it, because I've never tried the multicolored design. So I did it, and it ended up great. So I loved it. So now I had my graphic designer do a few more designs for me that will work with multicolor. He sent me one today, and then tomorrow he's gonna send me the other one too. So it should be great.
Nice.
So last week in the live, somebody mentioned because we were talking about your work. Oh, she admitted that she has a graphic designer, and we laughed back. And the reason we laughed back, we're like, so what? So do I.
I do make a lot of the design. Some of the designs I make myself. Right. Like I can draw simple designs and stuff. When it comes to more complex things, I don't know. I don't know if I could make it or not, because I have not tried it. I just don't want to take the time. So I hired this graphic designer. He's from Ukraine, and it's actually not expensive at all. I think he charged me like $150 for the design, but I have the copyrights to it, so I can sell the design if I choose so, or he cannot sell the design, or whatever I want to do with it. It's my design that he made for me. Like I give him a sketch or an idea, and he does it for me. So
that's cool.
It's not worth my time to try to sit there for 5 days at the computer design something.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, there's two things too, right? Like, I mean, I know how to run Adobe Photoshop, right? And that doesn't mean I can design art like that, right? Like that cutting board that you did. So like there's a couple of things that have to fall into place before you can create that, right? And knowing the tool is not enough.
There's a lot. I mean, before I found this graphic designer, I hired somebody else, and it was amazing artist. Like it can give you some nice SVG drawing, but it would not work as a inlay cutting board. Like it doesn't take into account for the tool path. Your router bit will not physically fit between the vectors, and it would be too narrow, like sharp corners, and it just would not work. So this guy has been doing custom cutting board inlay designs now for many years. He has like over 200 in his portfolio, and he's really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
I'll show you the one I'm working on now.
You say you get what you pay for, and if you're paying someone, they better be better at than you, right? Otherwise, why are you paying them at all?
Well, and that's why you would pay someone to do it, right? Because they're better at it than you are.
Right.
So here is one. It's in the works now. I have to do one more layer.
Wow.
Nice.
But like here on these walnut pieces of the shell, I'm gonna put this piece. This is gonna have some yellow heart inlay, and then the same thing over here. It's going to have this inlay in it.
Very cool.
So tomorrow I'll
See,
put the last
see-
layer in it.
see what you could do, Rick, if you learned how to use your CNC or actually used it instead of having a photo in the back.
I just make signs with it so far. I have not done anything creative.
Yeah, I mean that's mostly what my CNC gets used for too. I've done inlays, but not,
I haven't
not
even
just
I haven't
Skylar's
even touched wood with it. It's all been that plastic that
HPD.
yeah.
Rick, do you remember that file of the Christmas trees that I was doing last year?
Yes.
I modified it, so now it works with the. I can make it on the CNC. I tested and it works.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to make it. I wanted to, and I didn't have a chance to, so I have to try it. Yeah, you know what? It's amazing to see that like your artistic ability just kind of things it puts you to the next level, but you also don't allow things to limit you. Like and also humble enough to say like, hey, I have the creative thought to do this, and I'm not saying I'm capable of doing this, but I want to do this today, not 2 weeks from now when I figure out how to do it. So, and some people can't swallow that pill, right? They let their pride get in the way, and they'll beat their head against the wall for 2 and 3 weeks before they'll reach out for help, or from then just say screw it and they just scrap the whole idea at all. So, don't do that, people. You know, if someone you're going to pay someone and they're going to knock it out of the park and they'll do it, and that's what they do day in and day
That's
out.
why
There's
if I
nothing-
have an electrical problem, I call an electrician. I'm not going to stick my hands in the
Yeah.
socket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Razor Ray said, made it to central Wisconsin area. Hey, brother, you're in my backyard. Hello, hello. Saturn Lathe Engraving, and he's been doing a whole lot of posting too.
Yeah.
I know. He got a small CNC and a 3D printer.
I
Hey,
jumped on his live. to
He
watch
got his
it.
second 3D printer.
Nice.
He got the Snapmaker now too.
So he's going good, man. He is, I guess the Christmas thing, you know, he probably does really, really well in Christmas time, but also being kind of in a tourist area helps too. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You want to take this, Steve?
Jim says this might take 2 posts. Commarker Omni 1 doing glass, not full power first 2 millimeters. What if I would put something at high speed and very low power to give the laser time to get to full speed and power? I think I know what you're saying there. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you got lots of scrap glass now. Just try it, right? Like, you got to experiment with this stuff. And I mean, maybe you'd go fast with 2 passes and it works, but that's a little harder on a glass because you may not get the repositioning as you rotate it the second time. But yeah, it's, I mean,
UV.
Yeah, I think going slow is a problem, even with UV, right? UVs are technically cold engraving, but I mean, if you leave a beam sitting on any surface long enough, it's going to get hot. And I think that's probably what's happening with your glasses cracking. It's just they're getting thermally fatigued, and they
I was so like wanting one so bad, and I see so many people struggling. And I get it. Like once you get it dialed in, you're dialed in. But it's kind of like, I don't have time for a headache right now. Yeah, it's like a back burner idea. Like,
I mean, a lot of it is the right laser, right? Like, I know like the We Create Lumos. What is it? The Lumos Ultra. That one's pretty good. The X Tool.
Same thing. They're all finicky though. They're all finicky. Like. They're all finicky.
Well, I think the big difference with the Lumos and the F2 Ultra UV is you get proper autofocus on them. So focus is the killer on UV. And so you start like you calibrate the laser when you start, like when you take it out of the box. And after that, it's just kind of there. So you can focus it really quickly and it autofocuses relatively well. And that makes a huge difference, right? And then the software, of course, is easier. If you're trying to fight through this with light burn, there's just so much darkness there, right? Like it's just you're feeling around, and
that's why I liked on the We Create on the internal crystal engraving. It's so easy to center the design versus the cow marker, you have to finick with it and make some jigs or something if you want to get it perfectly in the middle.
Yeah.
Where the weak rate, it just did it in the middle. Like first try, it's just automatically, you just click center and it just centers it. You put the block on the thing.
Yeah, and that's how the X tool is too, right? Like it has like when you say I want to do an inner engraving, it basically puts you into a workflow and says do this, and I'm not going to let you do anything else until you do this, right? Because it verifies everything.
Yep, and it helps when the software suggests the parameters that works just right.
Yeah.
From the first try.
So I mean, if that's what you wanted to do, if you wanted to work with a lot of glass, and I had this conversation with Jim this week, get either the We Create or the X tool, because they're the ones who are leading right now as far as capability and ease of use.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Exactly.
He said, "Hey everyone on this side too."
Not the camera side, the other side.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, I just think that, like I said, I'm not saying that there's not a difference in quality in lasers, but I just think it's not. I think it's something you got to spend some time learning to dial in your settings. And so when I was so excited about it, because I thought from my niche perspective, a memorial, that I could do those, the faces in the glass.
Yeah,
I don't have time to mess with something. I'm slammed right now, so it would have to be something I eventually do, but it's no longer on my top want list at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's the learning process. There's always something to learn, but
Right.
The reason I would call out the X tool and the We Create is they take a lot of that out of your hands, right? Like it's just like just push these buttons and things will work. You don't have to guess, and like. I mean, honestly, if I was doing any serious amount of UV work with glass, I would not consider anything but the X tool right now. I mean, probably the We Create maybe, but
I have a question.
Things that are easy, right? Like provide a workflow, force you into the right workflow, and you get a good result at the end.
No, well, I have a question for you, Skylar. You carry a lot of wood and sometimes really exotic woods, and how do you maintain that wood in your environment? Do you have dehumidifiers, humidifier? You just have good luck with the insulation?
I used to have a dehumidifier which works fantastic. I will send you a picture of the brand and what I'm using. I bought it on Amazon. I think it was pretty pricey. It was like $500-600, but it dropped the humidity when I was back in my old shop. It was just in the garage underneath my house. Was dropping the humidity from 90% to 40% in about a half an hour. It was like it works so well. But now I just have the mini split and just keep the AC going, and that keeps. I have one of those things that measures the humidity. My humidity in the shop, it's always between 40 and 45%.
Wow.
Yeah, I have the same setup. I just use my mini split heat pump.
Yeah. Now in my finishing room, it gets up to 60% in there because I have some vents in the ceiling for fumes and stuff, and because I thought I was going to put a kiln. So all those vents, when I turn them on, they just bring in humidity from outside.
Yeah, 60 is not bad actually for wood, because like even at 40, if you build a bunch of, like if you build a cutting board, for example, and all the wood is at 40% when you make it, if you send that to somebody who lives, let's say, oceanside, it's gonna just break, right? Like it's gonna expand and crack, and so
that's why I acclimate everything. Like when I order wood, like I have 80 board feet of walnut showing up in the end of this week because I'm getting ready for Christmas and I've ran out of walnut. So it comes, the moment it comes, it gets on the shelves, and I'm not touching it for about 3 weeks. I let it acclimate. And then I will mill it, let it sit for another day or two, mill it again to make sure it's super straight. Then I'll make what I'll make out of it. And then it sits, and then it goes into my barn, where is my photography studio. And that's what's going to sit again for a while before it gets photographed and posted. So I make sure everything is super acclimated, and it goes from here into the house, which is around 50% humidity.
Yeah, so the 2 rooms in my house they're set up with dampers, and I have an Ecobee system, so I can use the heat and the air conditioning to monitor and then the furnace has a dehumidifier and an humidifier, is where I do my woodworking in the basement. And then in this room, my printers are, because print heads can be really finicky, right? And if they're not, they get too hot or the humidity goes too low, you can have a lot of problems printing. So
Right.
yeah, but I've just been doing it with my furnace, and then in the basement I have an external on top of that to keep my humidity directly at 50. But yeah, but I was just curious because you have a ton of wood, and you always have a ton of wood, so whatever you're doing obviously works.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
curious.
I always like to have a lot of wood because I know what I have in the shop, it's ready to use. Versus, if you just buy something because you need it for a project, and it is kiln dry, but it's in transit and on a truck, and you can't just use it when you get it, or you're gonna have big problems. So you have to let it acclimate.
Yeah,
But
I don't have any of those fancy woods though. I mean, I have 3 kinds of wood in my shop: maple, cherry, and walnut, kind of the color spectrum. But
also, when dealing with glass, the type of glass is so important. I had a nasty time with Jade Glass Awards. Just ask Steve. Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Have you tried JDS?
The problem is it has to cross the border, and then there's a whole customs thing that has to happen. It's
even with glasses, you're gonna have a hard time with cups.
Anything coming, and it's worse going the other direction. Somebody asked me the other day to make 500 coins, and I said, like, I'd love to, but I can't. It's just, by the time you get it, you'll be paying twice what it would be worth, right? Because there's tariffs and there's paperwork. It's just crazy. So I just don't even bother.
So I heard Trump was actually trying to charge you guys for supposedly intentionally blowing the smoke with us with wind turbines.
Well, yeah, we have these really big fans, and we light forest fires on purpose, and just go it that way.
Oh my God! Right, every lineman page in Facebook and Reddit.
The irony of that statement is like earlier this year, there were a bunch of Canadian guys down in the U.S. fighting fires. There have been U.S. firefighters in Canada putting out fires. Yeah, I mean, it's like those guys are just brothers, right? Like, they don't care about boundaries. But the bigger problem is, I mean, back when you had all the fires on the West Coast, and Trump said, "Oh, you just got to rake these forests." Well, we got 3.9 million square miles of forest to rake, right? It's not going to happen. And most of these fires are started by lightning in places where you can't even get people in, like you can't drop them in to fight a fire. So it's like, what do you want us to do? All we'll do is put a counter tax on every time a hurricane comes north, I guess. I don't know, but it's just goofiness. It's dumb politicians, right? Nobody who wants to run a country should ever be allowed to.
TTC 1940 says, Steve, I emailed Xtool about Rotobox compatibility to the laser, no response.
Yeah, you're not likely to hear from Xtool. Talk to Rotoboss.
He was on our podcast.
He listens in once in a while.
And I believe it's still there before you buy anything. I believe it's pinned in our Facebook group, discount codes. He gave us some.
Yeah.
It's not really a link.
Well, no, Jim already has a Rotoboss, right? He's using it on his Omni 1. The challenge, though, so I'm pretty sure if you talk to the Rotoboss guy, I forget his name now, he'll tell you he has a cable for it. It's just a USB cable on the laser end. But I don't know what'll happen with Xtool Studio, because Xtool has this whole integrated experience, right? And if you put a rotary on their laser, I don't know if you'll get the rotary capabilities if you don't have an Xtool rotary. I don't know.
Yeah, you might have to use Lightburn, unless he has a hack. Who knows?
Well, it might work. I just don't know, right? I know that if you drop an Xtool rotary in there, it'll work fabulously. But
Finn said best humidity levels for the EFI is 40 to 60%. Xtool's apparels are 50 to 60 optimal. And I wonder what Xtool's Omni would be. So the only thing that I would stress is anytime you go over 50% and it's in your house, beware, because that's a black mold breeding ground. So above 50% is dangerous in a home. So that's another thing I would want.
Yeah, it's where I live, and probably where Skylar lives too, because we only live across the bay from each other. But it's a challenge to have below 50% here in the summertime, right? Because I mean, outside from April till almost December, it's 100% humidity all the time, right?
Yeah.
So there's only so much you can do.
But the difference is that since it's always like that in your home has absorbed so much moisture, it's not taking on anymore, right? The 2x4.
You might think that.
No, I think to the extent if our wood is so dry and you start pumping a lot of humidity, it's going to suck it in, you know.
And then in the winter, it gets down to 20 to 30%.
Yeah, that's the thing. In the wintertime, like, I mean, I have like engineered hardwood floor, and I mean, it's engineered, right? It's not supposed to move around, but it moves around a lot from winter to summer here.
Yep. I have my tables in the house that have breadboards in the end, and the breadboards are sticking out about this much because the wood moves. You know, they're 4 foot wide.
It gets longer.
Yeah.
Krista, good day from down under. Hello,
hey,
hello.
Chris. So since Tim mentioned the Eufy Make E1, I had to finally change the print head in mine.
Oh,
because people are always asking, like you know, how's the reliability? And I mean, I think it was a shock for people to recently discover, it seems, that print heads are consumables, because for 2 weeks there was a big blow up on Facebook about, you know, I didn't know this was the case. But yeah, I got almost 18 months out of it. But
did you have to change it yourself, or did you have to send it back in?
No, I replaced it myself. It takes 5 minutes.
They change print heads all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. It's the other day I mentioned on the live about having a connection, 2 different companies that you can get print heads way cheaper than anywhere else, and they're not replicas, they're OEMs, and they have a warranty. And I reached out to you yesterday and said, "Hey Rick, can I share on the group?" And I said, "Oh, I was actually going to reach out to you." So I might have some discount codes and stuff in 2 different. One stateside in California, one's overseas. Obviously, there's a difference in ship time, but they're both good.
Yeah. The one challenge. I mean, I looked at one of these when it looked like I was going to have to replace my print head. I thought, oh, I'll just go buy an aftermarket one, like not a Eufy Make one. But the problem is they have it all built into a module, right? And you'd have to spend more time disassembling that thing to replace the actual the head.
It's nothing. There's not much to it.
No. You got to look at
ribbon cable. It's the only thing that really connects to the actual print head. This is a print head.
I get it, but it's all built into this interesting little module.
Right, but what do they charge? $1,000, $1,100?
No, I don't know what the Eufy Make one is. It's I mean, I had an extra one, right? So I didn't pay for it. But
right, but I'm saying I guarantee they're charging you at least 3 to 4 times the price of the actual print head.
Yeah. So that's why I was looking at the aftermarket, and I forget the name of the company. It's probably one of the guys you're talking to. It was like $300.
Yeah,
for an F1080 print head, but it was only the head piece. It wasn't the rest of this cartridge, right?
Right. So you take it out. You got to pull the ribbon cable. Same thing with a regular printer. You got to take that apart and put it back together.
Yeah, but you see the way like a Eufy Make is, you turn out 3 screws, you pull off the hoses at the top and pop the head out. It takes 5 minutes. And you don't have to unscrew anything other than the hose, the manifold at the top.
I thought you were technical, Steve. Come on, man. Don't make that an excuse.
No, I actually looked at it. I thought, well, since this one's dead, I'm going to tear it apart. Yeah. And I looked at it and went, it's not worth it.
It's not that bad. I was nervous the first time too, but I've done it a lot.
Well, I wasn't nervous because the thing was already dead. I was just going to take it apart to see what was in it. But it was it was more difficult than I was willing to invest in it.
Some people, to be honest, they don't, because like some companies will buy those back and refurbish them. I don't buy refurbished ones. I want a brand new one. But there's a lot of people, they call it a waterfall effect. And what they do is they hook up these pumps to the tops where the hoses are,
Mhm.
and they flush it through a cleaning solution, flush it through, and they're able to clean them up and get them working again. And you could generally get those about for like $85, right? But problem is it's refurbished, and so it could be a hit or miss. And even if they stand on it and give you a new one, just to be a hassle. So to me, it's just not worth it, because when the print head goes down, the machine's down. So I would just rather get a brand new one.
Yeah.
I think
I
there's Dad
replaced
joke.
it. It took 5 minutes. It was easy.
Yeah, Dad joke says, Chris said, tell the court gesture to get his his border control and do their job. No smoke does not have a valid passport. Yeah, the fact that he said that they're using wind turbines to blow it, that's why it was all over the lineman.
We do,
pages.
and I mean, it's every citizen's obligation to light a fire within 10 miles of the border.
Yeah, so every lineman page was sharing all these the wind turbines.
Having said that jokingly, I do feel sorry for people, because you really don't have control over this, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what country you're in, Europe is the same way, right? There's wildfires going crazy there. It is like, I'm partially asthmatic, so it gets hard to breathe when, like, we had last year fires that were blowing right over, the smoke was blowing right over top of us, and man, it was hard to breathe for about a week and a half.
So we talk about all the time, like the importance of PPE, right, and being aware of your surroundings and stuff that we're doing, and even with 3D printing, that they say, oh, it's safe. Same thing with DTF. Oh, it's safe. And when you start getting these higher end air purifiers that are able to actually do a live readout and show you the contaminants in the air, it's crazy. So just the laser. When I first started with an open frame dial laser versus an enclosure, my wife constantly complained, our house smells like a hamster cage. You know what I mean? And that was part of the reason I originally started getting these air purifiers, air cleaners. But a really good friend of mine, she works for probably one of the largest rental places. It's called Sunbelt Rentals, like a commercial, like any big giant company to rent from. Anyways, COVID happened, and they invested in thousands and thousands of these big giant commercial grade air purifiers. When COVID passed, what are they gonna do with them? So I got one for every floor in my house, and what a difference! But what the Canada smoke here, when I open my front door, and I'm not like I'm hanging out the front door open, just open it, close it, it dropped my air quality in my house to 80% in 3 rooms, which was crazy.
I saw earlier this week, I saw some photos, like some video of Chicago, because they were talking about it. I mean, it's the news here too, right? It's like, oh my God, we got smoke everywhere. And then they showed Chicago, and it was like, wow, like, I mean, you couldn't see anything in the skyline.
I think
right?
Chicago and New York was pretty bad too.
Yeah. But like, just, so everybody knows, we don't do it on purpose.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the case where we could, like, there's nothing you can do to these, right? I mean, these are happening in places where, like, the nearest person is 500 miles in some direction, right?
That's because Canada's this big and your population lives here.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's like 1,500 miles north of me where there's just nobody, right? And half the time these fires, nobody even knows they get started. By the time they figure it out, it's already like burned 10,000 acres, right?
Yeah. Chris said, did you notice that in the last millimeter they finally removed 50% step over limit?
In the latest MM.
No, MMs. What's MM, Chris? Not sure.
It's not millimeters, because it's capital M's.
Yeah. Sandals Living Grave said, humidity is what I'm having to monitor since I got the mini split up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually built some I built a bunch of them for a couple of other people too, but I built these little temperature and humidity monitors, and you can just plug them into the wall, and they attach to my smart home system, and I can monitor everything. And it's amazing actually how different the humidity varies between room to room in your house too.
So I was talking with Clack, and it was like last year when he was milling down and trimming those big slabs of trees,
Yeah.
and how he had that external outside, basically just like a shed or box or whatever you want to call it, nothing fancy, but just to dry wood. So Vivor sent me a heater that was basically meant to be able to heat like a 3-car garage easily. And I was actually going to mount it in one of my garages just to show, that it can do that. But it wasn't really a purpose because I don't actually really use that garage. But once in a while, I do paint out there in the wintertime because I can't spray paint in my basement. But I purposed it to dry wood instead. So I think I'm gonna drop a video and show that. Like that could be something that because if I want to start. I have a tree that's a couple of trees that are pretty massive, and I want to try to make some cool stuff with the CNC. But I don't think I even want to attempt that until I know it's definitely really dry, because I do all that work and then it just I'll be heartbroken.
Yeah.
I think most people don't even know that even if you buy walnut or whatever at the big box store, it's not 100% dry. It's not really kiln dry.
Well, especially at a big box store.
Yeah. John said the smoke in Iowa is bad too. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole like right along the border. Mill Mage. Okay.
Yeah. So I said last week I was going to buy it. I didn't buy it, but I'm going to buy. I just want to buy it just to see what it looks like. I mean,
just try it. You got a 30-day trial period.
Yeah, I would just download the free trial and just check it out. I just thought if I was going to make content and all that, I kind of feel like guilty. So
yeah, I think if you had a smaller CNC, maybe it's your first CNC, but something not like big, right? Like not commercial.
Right,
like,
no,
I think Mill Mage would be just completely overwhelmed by doing things on something like a Onefinity or a Shape Oko or something.
But I was thinking, what about the my little two trees? That might be something cool.
Yeah, and that's exactly the kind of CNC I'm thinking of, right? Like just play, because they historically have really bad software anyway. So, what a great opportunity to throw it away and use something like Mill Mage.
Yeah. So I have an uncle who's a carpenter, and he's going to help me do some work. And I think I'm going to give him that CNC. So if I can figure out how to use that software, at least I can get him running and then say, thank you, bye. Good luck. Good luck. I showed you how to make a move. That's all. Yeah, so.
I have 10 more minutes before I have to go. Then I have to go pick up my kid from school.
All right. Mother duty calls. Yeah. John said a millage is pre-release. I'm not sure why they are having you register. You can't extend the trial for a while. You can extend the trial for a while. That's cool. I actually opened up Lightburn today on this computer, my new Windows. And apparently when I downloaded it, I never went and looked for my license for when I bought it. So I had a trial license, so it just closed. I'm like, so I got to dig through my emails to find that.
You can log in if you have an account on Lightburn. You can just log in and get your license.
Oh, I didn't realize that you could do that. I was just going to go to the email and I bought it. Radui said the second one you skipped over, Rick. I guess I'll take the hint. No, what did you skip?
Steve, you're using a Mac for your lasers?
Yeah. Although, well, no, for like Vectric stuff, I have to run it only runs in Windows, right? But
right. No, but for your lasers.
Yeah.
I did the software update on my Mac like a few weeks ago. I got the latest software, and none of my lasers will connect to my Mac anymore. Like zero. Like even my X tools that I had for 3 years in the shop and I had no problems with them until now, nothing will connect to it anymore. Like all the lasers I tried, I actually had to go buy a Windows PC because there was no way to connect them. I spent a few nights with X tool and with laser packer.
Do you have?
Just, gave them access to my computer. They went through the whole thing, the whole firmware, and drivers
Do
and
you
stuff.
have?
They
Do you
can't
have
make it
that
work.
CH340 driver installed? There's some driver that.
I had all the drivers. They checked it. They went on my computer and checked everything. It's installed. It just could not connect any of my lasers. Like just once I did the software update, nothing connected, and I had to do lasers review. So I just went and bought the Windows.
Yeah, no, I haven't had that problem.
So
And
don't update if you didn't.
I run the latest all the time. In fact, I'm probably running some iOS 27 beta right now on that machine.
I don't know what happened to mine, but just nothing. Like even lasers that I've been using for years in the shop, I just cannot connect them now.
Is it an Intel processor or M2?
Whatever that fastest one is, the M something.
M4 probably, or M5.
Yeah, it's whatever was 2 years ago was the fastest, biggest laptop, whatever it was, because I was using it for photography.
That'll be probably an M2. Yeah, if it was a Windows machine, there's a couple of things you can reset. Like the boards on the side, if it's a MacBook Pro, the boards on the side are controlled in firmware somewhere, and you can reset those things.
All right, dude, don't get butthurt, brother. I love your dad jokes. I was just trying to get to some of the questions. That's all. I'll circle back. I'm not.
It's the dad joke.
It said something about a mom and something, and I saw a question, so I looked.
You skipped over a dad joke. This is not going to look good on your review.
It was something to do with her balance. He pushed her over at the bank.
All right. So here it goes. Today at the bank, an old lady asked me to check your balance, so I pushed her over. Okay.
See, brightens your day just like that.
There you go. Chris said, I have been seeing a lot of Mac users claiming they have a USB problems after the last update. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine, I was like to the end of my width. I just went and bought it.
Yeah. See, most of the lasers, because most of my stuff is Xtool now, they're all Wi-Fi, right? So maybe it's just the actual USB.
Well, mine were never connected to Wi-Fi, so they said in order to make it work via Wi-Fi, you first have to connect it to the cable. So, but I was just never able to do it.
Yeah, you could do that from your new Windows machine, and then connect to it from your.
Well, now I decided to just leave the Windows here because I'll use it for the CNC, and I'm not going to do any more laser reviews, so it's just going to be a CNC.
Yeah, there you go.
Uber first said, howdy, y'all. Hello. Thank you for stopping in.
Hey.
Well, you want to take this one, Skylar?
I have always wondered why lemonade is made from artificial flavors, but furniture polish is made from real lemons. Yeah, they're using the lemon oil and real polish. I use it too.
So I've actually had a chance to use some of yours. When I bought the crosses, you put the little, yeah, that's actually pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. And
Is
I saw the video.
Is it the black can, the Carnauba one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably old now, so it probably made a skin over it. But
I
you can
hope
just
it
peel
didn't
that.
run.
You just have to peel that skin off and use the wax underneath, because the tongue oil, it's a drying oil, so it will form that skin will dry with oxygen.
Okay.
But the wax is fine underneath. You can just peel it over and use it.
Yeah. I get asked every single time somebody sees that cross, did you make this? No.
I only have pictures of CNC, so I can't make that.
No, that wasn't even CNC. That was the old school. That was her handmade one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, people, mere mortals like you and I, we'd have to use a CNC to do something like that.
Yeah, that was a real woodworker cross, Steve.
Right. I heard a lot of that lately.
So have you got any backlash jumping into the CNC and doing things differently, or people still appreciate the art and it's not been a thing?
I think I've got the worst feedback when it comes to CNC. People absolutely hate it, and I think that's why I have not made a video on it yet. People that followed me for years now, in my group, they were like, I thought you were a good woodworker and you're doing great things. I changed my mind now. Now you're just a machine operator. I'm like, really? What are you, 10? Like,
right?
Yeah.
Really
The response to that statement is, no, I'm an artist.
Yeah, people
Mhm.
hate on the CNC. Of course, all the people that hate CNCs is the ones that don't have a CNC and have no idea what it takes and how it
Right.
works. It reminds
Yeah.
me a lot
Well,
of
no, but the whole point there is they're discounting the creativity, right? Which is the real where the magic is, right?
Right. So when
now.
I was
They
first
are, go ahead.
so when I was first posting on woodworking groups, everyone's just cool, right? It's like learning, everyone's helping each other. And when I started posting laser videos on woodworking, man, I understand what you're talking about because I got roasted on woodworking groups for laser. But if I take that same post and I put it on a Facebook group that's lasers, it was cool, but woodworkers, they not
See
have
what I'm taking away from these anecdotes is I'm glad I'm antisocial.
But yeah, like I think people, like if you just take a piece of wood and put it on the machine and buy a design on Etsy and you carve a cross, there is not really woodworking. I would agree with that. You're doing nothing. You're just programming the machine, putting the wood there, and it happens. But
Yeah,
there's
so
other things that they take so much more. Like when I make these end grain cutting boards, for the one that was the most colorful one that I did, I made 4 end grain cutting boards. So I have 3 for the plug and 1 for the maze board. That took me 2 full days of sanding and cutting and planing wood and whatever. And then from there to make every layer, it took 48 hours between every color because you have to let the wood acclimate. And that's the one thing I learned the most by making those cutting boards is about how wood reacts. Like I thought I understood wood movement and expansion and all that stuff. But if you put an inlay just on one side of the board, that moisture is going to make your board be like this the next day. So combating that and working with it and understanding what it's going to do and how you should wait and how long. And it's just like a whole new thing. It's all woodworking. The machine only does a few hours of the CNC.
yeah. So Chris puts it aptly here. I bet that these people, the people complaining, are using table saws instead of hand saws. Yeah. And I mean, arguably, a handsaw is not a woodworking tool either. Then, right?
So, Skylar, as you're doing like these multi-stages in the woods, are you like setting jigs so you can set your wood down back in the same place, or you just like that cannot move?
Well, no, I move it because I do other projects in between and I work on other cutting boards. So I do have a 90-degree fence set up on my CNC table. So my board will always go in the same spot. Okay. And then on the software, I'm sure there's better way of doing this. I just don't know how to do it the correct way. But for me, the way it's been going, I always home my machine, I 0 everything. And then, well, when I first start on the board, I go straight to the middle. I do the diagonals and go straight to the middle, find the perfect center, and then I write down whatever those coordinates are. And then I do my pockets, I do the inlay, board gets moved and so on. When I need to put it back in, I have those coordinates, and then I have to write the G code, G90, G20 or 21, whatever, if you're working on inches or millimeters, G00, and then the X and Y, so you make the head go exactly in the same spot.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
You hear that?
You put a
she's dropping some knowledge. Like, hey, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you find the center and then use a V bit to position your.
She dropped it to a code level to explain it to you as a software developer, Steve. She wanted you to know.
No, I Googled it, so I learned it just by Googling it, and I did it, and it worked.
Well,
I did
that's
that.
how I learned.
Speaking Steve's language, he's a coder, right? So I saw the wheels spinning that you're talking.
G-code. No, but that's how I do it too. You find this, like if you have to put something back in the same place, find the center, get a V bit, put it down, and that gives you all 3 axes, the numbers for all 3 axes. You have to use machine measurement, not the relative stuff. But then you can grab the thing, move it around, put it back, and all you got to do is just go back there, right? So
right. Except if you're going the next day and the machine is off, then it might not. If you did another job and you used other center, then in order to go back, that's why I have to.
Yeah, as long as you don't move your jig that's sitting on the
right. No, I don't move
plate,
that.
right? Then you should be okay.
The first time I did a multi-layer one, I did the first layer, and then I'm looking at my board. I'm like, how do I know where to start with this thing? How do I repositioning? So my board is already started. I already did the layer in it. So I'm like Googling it on my phone. I'm like, okay.
When in doubt, start from the center.
Yeah. So it worked.
Question for you, Steve.
Radu says, Steve, in your Hey Gears video, you said you use other ink at your own peril. Can you explain? Well, yeah, it's a warranty thing, right? I mean, I don't even think it's a warranty thing. Hey Gears is prepared to let you use other people's ink. Now, in reality, if you look at the price of their ink compared to other people's ink, it's not worth it because their ink is priced really well. But, they just can't guarantee the quality of someone else's ink, right? So if you go and buy like the cheapest UV ink on Amazon, it's probably going to be crap. So,
Just to make sure you buy the easy button with it, and it'll make it work perfect.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the i3200 printhead is not cheap. So, why would you screw with it, right? Just to save $1 here or there, it's not worth it. Now, if it was, and I know the Eufy Make people will probably kill me, but if it was a Eufy Make, there's a real incentive to find cheaper ink, right? Because theirs was quite expensive, although they did drop the price 30% in the last week. Good for them. I think they could drop it 30% more. But like Hey Gears uses bottled ink, which is a refreshing change because Xtool doesn't, and neither does Eufy Make. I think Longer does. They use bottled ink.
Does your Eufy printers work, Skylar? Or they're all dead?
Well, it was working last time I turned it on, but it's been like 8 months since I turned it on, and I'm pretty sure that everything is expired. So I'm afraid to rejuvenate it because it's probably gonna give me all kinds of error telling me that I need all new everything.
If you put new ink and a new cleaning cartridge in it, clean it a few times, it'll be fine.
Well, yeah, but the problem is I don't have any new ones. So if they're expired, because I thought about it, I'm like, I never use it. I should probably sell that thing, put it on Facebook Market, make room in my finishing room.
Well, do it soon because I think there'll be a lot of people selling their E1s and buying either like these Hey Gears ones if they want to do 3D or the Omni.
Yeah, my only problem is that I'm sure that it probably has expired ink and everything and probably can make it work.
You'd have to buy new ink just to test it.
Right. But I'm sure it works because
or you sell it as is and they take the risk themselves, right?
Yeah.
But it sucked to take a hit on your feedback because someone was pissed, even though they bought it that way. Razor Ray said, if you use cheap ink, don't blame the printer for the poor prints. Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, I think it's more than the poor prints. Like you'll certainly potentially get poor prints, but some of the inks they tend to not to be pH balanced very well. So you could be ultimately slowly damaging your printhead, right?
To be honest with you, I was scared when I had the Bamboo Lab printer. Is it using anyone's filament outside of theirs, right? Like, because they have this big library, and even though every filament in the world directly on the roll itself tells you like temperatures and whatever, but the Bamboo Lab printer is so dialed in so well, so kind of like click, it's up and running, right? That I didn't think it was gonna just work well, and it does. Just Creality, Sunlu, no problem.
Yeah. So anytime I mostly use Sunlu now. I put a spool in. It doesn't do the recognition stuff because there's no RFID in it. But I just manually say it's bamboo filament and off I go. Right.
Yep.
Works fine.
No problem. Yeah. The only problem that I did have, and the only filament that I've had problem, I tried that Micro Center film.
Yeah. This is the $8 for a 10 kilogram roll stuff.
And I don't get it because they have like, I don't know, 25 rolls of filament that are probably 16 feet tall. So I thought, like, if a store's selling this much film, this has to be good, right? So I don't know, did I get a bad batch? It was just the colors I chose, or was it old? I don't know, but it sucked. Like, whoa, it sucked.
Hey guys, I gotta go pick up my kid from practice. It was good to see everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you for dropping in. Have fun with the kiddos.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you.
Yeah, so this weekend with the basement being set back up, I'll be able to try that new filament I got.
Yeah, you dried it, I assume, right?
Yeah. Yes. So
Can you
thankfully,
get down to like 2 or 3% humidity in your
zero.
AMS? Yeah, you got to
Zero.
zero. Oh, you printed some cartridges, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
I have the cartridges in the reel, and then I have the cartridges in the front.
Yeah.
And then my primary colors like red, blue, black, white. Even though I have them in the AMS Pro, I have a second roll already cooking in the Sunlu AMS just because I don't use it as an AMS. I only use it as a dryer. So that as I swap those rolls out.
I mean, if
I'm ready.
is it PET G? It's PET G, right?
What's that?
This filament you got?
From that guy? Or you're talking from Micro Center?
Yeah, Micro Center.
From Micro Center was PET G. And they had two different grade levels of PET G too. I tried them both. Same exact thing. Yeah. But the guy that I got something that's local to me, he gave me all different kinds of stuff. It's kind of like Sunlu. They have some real creative colors and some cool stuff.
So
and of course,
so PET G can be a little pickier for settings. So you may have to just find the right settings for it. That's all.
I mean, I even tried what the settings set on their reel. It just sucked. Yeah, it just sucked. Yeah, I kept meaning to email them and just give them the benefit.
But you also, it's not just temperature, right? You'd also have to change the speed on the filament in the filament settings. Yeah, because otherwise you're using Bamboo's default, which is probably like 150 millimeters a second or something.
Yeah, that I don't think I did, but I did change the temperature. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible you just have to print it a bit slower. That's all.
Yeah, well,
like, is it stringing or not sticking or?
Yeah, exactly.
Which both?
Both.
It's not sticking to the plate.
Yeah, and I have to show you. I have to
share it's PET G because PET G is like glue, man.
I know. You ever seen somebody share on Facebook when they're like, "What happened?" and it's like an explosion and it looks like spaghetti all over the plate.
Tangled knot of
like
string.
It's like it looks like that.
Well, that's adhesion between filaments too, right? So
yeah, it was just all the above. It was just bad, and
maybe it's not hot enough, or maybe it's too hot.
I don't know. So anyone out there ever used Micro Center filament and had good luck, or even bad luck? Was it just me that I just get a bad batch? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, it's got to be just settings. I mean, I've seen some pretty weird filaments and you play around with the settings, you can eventually get them to work. If you want to have some fun, get some PA6 and try and print that.
Yeah, just to me, nope, fail. You know, never buy it.
Well, it's just a case of finding the right settings. So Rado asks, Hey Gears versus Eufy. They're both good for different reasons. So the Eufy make is, it's easy to use. You just set it up. It's not particularly for high workflow type applications, like it's not for business, but it doesn't do 3D. And I will guarantee that Hey Gears, in spite of the fact that it can do everything the Eufy make can do on the UV side for 2D and 3D textures, 99% of people who buy this thing are going to use it for 3D prints. So I think these two are going to coexist. Now, Hey Gears did tell me that they're also planning on supporting both UV DTF and like true DTF. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. Now, the advantage of the Hey Gears is you can literally pull the whole ink cartridge out because it's basically this big aluminum block at the back of the laser with 10 holes in it where you fill the ink, right? And you can literally take that entire system out right back to the print head and put in a new one in like 5 minutes. So you could have conceivably completely different inks and swap them.
So you don't have to flush lines, nothing. It's all that would be.
It takes the lines with it, right? It's literally you pull it off the print head and you got the little spigots there, and you put the new one on, and there's 3 screws on the top. You just screw it down, and you've changed ink. Right?
I'm curious. But you're still using the same print head.
Same print head, yeah.
So
Now
I'm curious.
there's a cleaning process it does while you're switch ink, but it takes 5 minutes of your actual effort to do it, and then there's like a 10-minute ink change process or something, some kind of a cleaning that it does.
Interesting.
Yeah, that aspect of it is really neat because there's a lot of potential there to do crazy things with it.
Just a lot of times in my experiences, you can't mix inks in a print head. It will cause problems. Like you're never going to get rid of 100% of any ink.
See, that's kind of what I thought, but I switched from 2D ink to 3D resin and back, and there was no issues.
That's cool. It's cool. Santa's Living Grade said, "Do you know if there's a lot of difference in the inks between UV printers now?"
For different printers, there's some. So the standard CYMK, they're pretty much the same for everybody. But the Haygears also has light cyan and light magenta. So it's got 2 extra colors. And surprisingly, those 2 colors get used a lot when you're 2D printing.
So
for reasons I don't understand. But
a lot of times the printer will have 2 extra channels because they'll use those extra channels for white, or they'll use extra channels for black.
Yeah. So when you're 2D printing, they have light magenta and light cyan in addition to CYMK, and a gloss, and there's actually cleaning in there as well. But when you switch to resin, there's 2 whites, and then CYMK. They don't have light magenta or light cyan in resin, and so the channel that was gloss in 2D becomes the second white channel, and the channel beside it that was cleaner becomes the gloss channel. I think they shuffle them around, and
that's common in printers. Yeah. Bye, Skylar. That was cool. She dropped in. I just sent her the links for the whole month and just said, hey, if you want to drop in, you got some time, just drop in. So you may see Skylar drop in here and there. She just, because of her family schedule, she can't commit to full time and all the time. So happy to have her whenever she can join. Razor Ray said, at some point I'm going to order some 3D Fuel PCTG in the X Toolbox colors.
Yeah, it's PCTG is kind of coming on strong. It's probably a little stronger even than PETG, but it prints kind of easily like PLA. So it's interesting. I see a buddy of mine sent me a message to say that Polymaker is going to release something new tomorrow. And I don't know what it is. Nobody, I guess, knows what it is, but there's a new filament coming from them tomorrow. So
Santa's Living Grid said, I think I may try some Spectrum printing this weekend on the U1. Haven't done that yet. Excuse me. What's Spectrum printing?
I assume he's talking about putting CYMK spools on and then a white, and you can get literally any color you want, right? It's a kind of an optical illusion because they're doing like tiered layering of multiple colors to generate a color your eye sees. So it's all actually you can do it in Bamboo too.
As soon as I did the update in the Bamboo to be able to do that, the printer broke. So I haven't had the ability to do that. So I
actually ordered like CYMK and white spools specifically for this purpose, and then I put them on the shelf. I haven't had time to look at it. I did a bit of playing around because you can do any colors, right? Like if you put a green and an orange in your AMS and say I want to mix these 2 colors, it'll give you the spectrum of colors you can generate from those 2 colors. Yeah, and I tried that, and it's kind of cool. It works, but I think the Snapmaker, because they have this software change done by the community, and Bamboo doesn't have the exact same code for some reason, the Snapmaker does this better, and it certainly doesn't have to purge material like the Bamboos do. So you can print these things fairly quickly by comparison, because you're printing at 0.8 millimeter layer height, right? Like it's very low height.
But I wonder, and I haven't compared. What's really going to be the differences? how much are you sacrificing on speed making green versus just printing green, right? I mean, there has to be some sacrificial time.
Well, sure, except that no matter if all you have is solid colors, you can't print a gradient. With this, you can print like a gradient transition from white through all the colors in the rainbow to black if you want.
Right.
And it's a smooth transition, right? It's not like, okay, here's the red, here's the green, here's the blue.
You know, it's funny. So I did the whole you got to print a dragon thing. You know, those little crazy, whatever the heck they are. I don't even know what they're called. But I printed some of those for Ricky around Valentine's Day, and he gave them to every kid in his class. That was his Valentine's giveaway. But I had that Sunlu filament that's every color. It's like a rainbow.
Yeah.
And I had them print them one at a time. Even though there was like 30 on a tray, right? I had them complete one, then do the next one, complete one.
Yeah.
That way that the colors were, you know.
You don't get the abrupt change.
Right. And it was cool to be able to gradually go through it. But again, I didn't do that through software. The roll of filament was already that way.
Yeah.
So I get the ability to be able to do that within software.
I mean, ultimately, I think this is probably the way FDM is going to go, right? Like, I mean, ultimately, I think what you're going to end up with is 4 hoppers, and you'll put pellets in each one, and you'll just go from pellets directly to printed filament.
Primary colors to make whatever you want.
Yeah, but use pellets, not spools.
Right.
Because that's what industrial printers do, right? They don't use spools.
Yeah, the big giant mama jumps.
Yeah, you just put a big bag of pellets into the thing and push the print button, right?
Uber said, I was told that Micro Center film is made by eSun and Polymaker.
Must be all the leftovers, because both of these companies make pretty decent filament. Yeah,
so Uber, have you used the Micro Center filament? Because I'm curious if anyone's ever used it and had an issue, or was it just me? I said, my H2C hate Micro Center, but my X2C eats it. So I have a bamboo printer, so maybe my bamboo printer just hates it.
Yeah, but an X2C, both of these are bamboo printers.
Oh, X2C is a bamboo too? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
It's the X2C. I have
an H2D Pro, so I don't know.
The X2C is like a baby H2 series printer.
Yeah. So I don't know. It hates it, and they sell the full line of bamboo printers there. So
yeah, and all I can think of you can just it's settings, right? It's like if you look at, and maybe Hugh Boofer can do this for us, and report back sometime. If you look at the settings that the X2C uses for speed, obviously temperature and whatnot, compare them to the ones that the H2C is using by default. I bet you there's some differences there. Yeah. And I'm guessing it's probably speed, because the X2C isn't quite as fast as the H2C. And I think in your case, when you were running into problems, the H2C or H2D is probably just trying to blast the thing out, right?
Yeah.
So it's going too fast.
Yeah, so I don't know. Chris said eSun is probably the closest, biggest white label filament maker at the moment.
Yeah.
Razor Ray said the 2 extra colors increase the color garment. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. You can, if you get your printer running again, you can play with this, right? You create virtual spools in your AMS effectively.
Yeah, actually, I was coloring something in the Bamboo Studio today, and because I hadn't synced with my AMS, right? It was saying I don't have that color. Well, I'm like, I know that I have that color, but then it was trying to create that color, and I'm like, no, I have that color. So I want to see what happens when I actually stick that color in. Is it going to still try to create that color, or is it going to recognize that I may have to manually select it?
Well, you'll have to pick it. I mean, you'd have to do that anyway, right?
Right. But what I was saying is, because in the color spectrum that I had loaded, like the reels that I had, the color I was coloring with, it said it didn't have it. So it was actually using 2 colors to create that color. And I was like, no, don't do that. But
yeah. And it's using this optical illusion of color layers to make it happen.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes.
I mean, it's kind of cool, right? Because like I wouldn't use it every day, but if there's a color you need and you just can't get it,
So, but then this also comes down to the same reason why we said that why would there really be a need to create your own filament? You know, like really, 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 like uh, at the print level that we're at, you know, why would you want to do that? And it would be because a customer wants, you
yeah,
know, this color has to be, or be end all, right? Like if you can't do this color, I'm going somewhere else. Like it has to
yeah.
be
And I
my
mean,
color.
I've experienced this, right? Where
But
you're
so
printing a
the software
prototype
can
for
do it,
somebody, and they go, "It's got to be my corporate colors. It can't be white." It's like,
right?
what are you talking about? It's a throwaway. Nope. So
Right.
you have to have, you got to go find whatever Pantone color they use, right? But you can make those now.
Right. So yeah, exactly. So instead of having to create your own film and all that, to just make it within the printer is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And I mean, I think with all of the technology Bamboo has, I think the Snap Maker still does a better job at this color gradient stuff, like virtual colors.
Razor Ray said if you make the extra colors fluorescent, all colors become a lot more vibrant. It's like base coating, right?
Yeah.
So if you base coat black, it's going to make anything on top of it darker. If you base coat gold or silver, it's going to make anything brighter.
Yeah. If you are doing this color mixing, you should use translucent or semi-translucent filament too for your CYMK.
I have some translucent and glow in the dark. I haven't tried it yet, but I wanted to try those. It's something stupid. You know what I actually wanted to make, and I thought it'd be cool, is a glow in the dark wall switch plate for my son's room, for Ricky's room. I thought
I made some glow in the dark filament.
Yeah, so I just thought it'd be cool. But
You can buy it, right? You can buy. In fact, you can buy multiple colors of glow in the dark.
Yeah. So I got a couple different colors, but what I really was interested in is how long will it actually hold the charge? How bright is it really? You know, that's what I was kind of interested in.
Yeah, it's not long.
Right.
Like, it's 15, 20 minutes maybe.
Enough for them to fall asleep, right? That's all it's got to be. Like the little kids' room, and it's while they're wrestling in bed, and you're trying to get them to go to bed. Their little lights on. It makes them feel secure.
I mean, if you want to make something that glows a lot, then find somebody who will make you some tritium filament.
What's that?
Tritium is the stuff they use in military watches. It's basically like radioactive decay, right? So, but it glows forever, 20 years.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
you
great.
can actually buy, what did I see? Something on Amazon that was using tritium lighting. It was like a flashlight, and it was always on, right? So I don't know if I'd want to carry that around in my pocket, but well, I mean, this thing will obviously be made in China because everything is, and I don't know if they have the same standards we have for safety.
I'm sure you've seen it, Steve. Like these advertisements of flashlights that are on TikTok and Facebook, and they show this person in like a football field, and they go boom, and they extend it out, and it like lights this whole football field, and or they light up a whole entire side of a skyrise building. You're like, there's no way, right?
Well, I have a flashlight that lights up my entire backyard. And I mean, I have a big backyard, so that's saying something. And it's bright. Like it's so bright. If you cover it, it's got a sensor on it, so it doesn't overheat. First of all, and it won't burn your hand. So because it's hot.
So I got one of those lights.
Yeah.
I got one of those lights, and there was like I have tree frogs. I don't know if you've ever heard of a tree frog.
Yeah.
But sometimes it makes some pretty crazy sounds, right? Yeah. My wife's like, "There's an animal outside," and I'm like, and it did sound pretty wild. And I turned that light on, and it was so bright that traffic stopped in front of my house. I was like, what the hell? Two lanes of traffic. I just like expanded it so it lit up the whole tree, and both ways of traffic just stopped. And I was like, why did they stop? Like they thought it was God sent or something. Like, oh God, something's going on. But
Yeah, like if I take mine out to the end of my driveway and shine it down the street, I can see the mailboxes at the end of the street, and that's about, for me, it's probably, I don't know, half a mile maybe.
yeah,
Like
I was an
it's
idiot. I looked into that light. Oh man, I was seeing spark
yeah.
for a while, like a
No, they
haze.
tell you definitely not to look in these things.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, oh man, and I hit the button and man, I was seeing like a haze for a little while too. That was very stupid of me, but yeah. But honestly, I was like, this flashlight ain't gonna be that bright because it's almost unbelievable. You know how bright they show it online, but sometimes they're true.
Yeah, it's true.
San Jose Graven said, I gotta go. Have a good evening. Thank you for sharing all the stuff this week on the Shop Talk Live Facebook group. Razor Ray said, I installed small switches that have LEDs that light up when the switch is off.
Yeah,
that's
smart
fine.
switches,
Not battery.
have LEDs in them.
As long as it's not battery operated, because then you're draining the battery when it's not.
Yeah. Well, if you put, so like I have smart switches all over the place, and they just have a little LED in the bottom of them, and it's green when it's off, and if it doesn't, you can make the light to come on and off basically. So I think you can get things like this at IKEA too. They're really cheap.
So when they first started doing those Amazon days or whatever the heck it was,
like Prime days.
Yeah, Prime days. They had this company that was selling those smart switches. That wasn't ridiculous. I bought them for everywhere, right? And Amazon's kind of like an iPhone app store, right? Like if you buy an app from the Apple store and they no longer pay to be on the platform, it doesn't work. Matter of fact, they can force uninstall it on your phone, right, when you open it.
Yeah.
In an Android environment, if you buy it and they're no longer on the Android store, it still works. It doesn't matter, right? So the reason I brought that up is because I bought all these. I'm all set them up. Alexa, I'm all happy. It's cool. I can control everything in my whole house. And about 3 months after Christmas, they, I guess, are not paying for the platform. So they still function, but they no longer work through Alexa, and they're no longer compatible with Alexa. I'm like, oh, God. So, yeah.
You need to install a Home Assistant.
I have the everything's Alexa in my house. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even my Alexa talks to Home Assistant. So
Home Assistant. What is Home Assistant?
Home Assistant is an open smart home control platform. That's what my humidity and temperature sensors talk to. Well, it talks to them, I guess, is a better way.
So a bunch of,
but all my studio lights, they're all like everything in here except for my monitor on my camera is I push one button when I come in here to record, and everything comes on except that monitor, and I have to turn that on.
That's cool. That's cool.
And it's all done with Home Assistant. My music, like typed in sound, is all controlled by that. Even my lawnmower, I can see that. My car.
That's cool. Let's check it out. Razor Ray said Home Assist here also. There you go. More than one person. You said it's all open source?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And there's thousands of people who support this thing. Like, it's popular.
Yeah, so for the most part, everything in my house is I have for the lighting all Philips.
Yeah.
Because I have the Home Connect system. Like
you can control those with Home Assistant.
Yeah. So I was done dealing with the generic stuff.
You can run Home Assistant on a Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
I actually run it on a virtual machine on my server.
Okay.
It just runs away there and does its thing.
That's cool. Yeah, I have a little Raspberry Pi. I'm no longer using it. Could be something cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a Raspberry Pi with an LT and a Cat 5 connection, and then it's kind of crazy. But
I mean, you'll find millions of videos on Home Assistant, like how to plug even specific devices in.
Cool.
But all those smart switches, you can plug all of those in.
Speaking of smart switches, which is not probably what most people use a smart switch for, Well, what I would really honestly like to do is my own sprinkler system.
For
Like
fire safety.
no, like for my lawn.
Oh, in ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that in my previous house.
Yeah, to do it myself, like put them, all different, like soaker here and this there, and just yeah.
I did that.
Yes.
You and Rainbird become very good friends.
So after all is said and done, were you satisfied and happy you did it yourself, or you don't think was it worth the time?
No, it's not that hard to do, because it's not like you're burying pipe 3 feet down, right? This stuff is just below the sod,
Right.
Yeah, like and you dig a small hole for a pop-up sprinkler. It was easy. I mean, it took, I don't know, probably a week and a half of some spare time to get it all plugged in, running. I had a few zones.
So my father-in-law had one put in. He's just always giving me shit, like, "Oh, look at my grass," and I'm taking a sprinkler and I'm moving it around.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, I don't do that. I mean, I don't have one here because it normally rains a lot. It's been really dry though. But as you saw from my last lawnmower video, and soon my next lawnmower video, my lawn is shit most of the time anyway. But I can't really put anything on the lawn here to kill weeds or anything, so I just have to be aggressive about looking after the lawn.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to smuggle you some weed.
Make no mistake, I've got 3 bottles of 2,4-D, but
just weed and feed.
Yeah, but that's all that's in weed and feed is 2,4-D. Okay. But yeah, it's like whatever.
Razor Ray said there are more water there. I'm sorry. The more you water the grass, the more you have to mow.
But I don't have to mow because I have a robot that does it.
Well, not actually, Razor Ray, because there's chemicals you can put on your grass to actually kind of stunt the growth of the grass, which allow your roots to grow deeper, and that your grass will grow taller. And you wouldn't have to cut your grass about every 2.5 weeks. And the green, the way it would, that's a lot of golf courses use. And it's not very expensive, but the problem is that that chemical is mostly used for golf courses. So you can't really buy it in like small, like I think the smallest you can buy is like 2.5 gallons. And for a normal size yard, that'd be like 7 years worth of supplies. Yeah. So maybe you can split it with a neighbor.
You could just use different fertilizer too, right? Use fertilizer that grows roots instead of tops.
Right. But yeah, so very cool.
Low nitrogen.
Yeah. I think this is a new name. I'm not even sure. L-Senil
A? Oh, wait. Senil.
Okay.
Looking at the logo. I'm looking at the logo.
Hey,
hello anyway.
Thanks for joining the live. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, if it's your first time, let us know where you're joining us from. Chris said, Razor Ray, I went from the lowest maintenance green concrete. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Oh, here you go. He says
part of that is where you live too, right? It gets too hot there for grass.
I seen E.
Okay. I seen E.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm Mexican, so I have to have the greenest grass on the block. Although I think I'm gonna 3D print me a little sign that says "Don't step on my lawn." And be that guy, because as often as Amazon's here, I'm fighting this pest that they keep ruining in my lawn.
So historically, that was my goal too, right? Not a weed, nice green grass, cut 8 times a week because it grew so well. But as I'm getting older, it's like, it's grass. I don't care.
Near my pool, all of a sudden, I don't know how or why, I'm starting to get those weeds that are like the pricklies, the little spikes on it.
Yeah, thistle.
I gotta get rid of that because everyone's getting out barefooted in the pool and they're stepping in the grass. That's gotta go. And I never had that, so I don't know where all of a sudden that came from, but that's gotta go.
Well, the problem I have, the reason I gave up is because I'm surrounded by. Well, I have two neighbors. I have a big yard, but there's still two neighbors, and neither one of them seems to think a dandelion should be cut ever until after it goes to seed, of course. So I can't keep the dandelions out of my lawn anyway.
Yeah, Tim said, by the way, thanks, Rick, on the GTF rack idea. It really does make a difference.
There you go.
Every person that ever sees this, or any person that I tell it to DTF, I don't know. Like I said, you're repurposing. That's not what it's made for, but it works awesome because no matter what I tried to do, I even had these I might have these huge bags, right, of this. Try to keep the moisture, and no matter if those things are touching, they just get like an oily residue. And I have prints that are a year old, and I can look. Okay, you guys seen this? It's like the Mexican logo of the guy drinking a beer. I think I printed this like 8 months ago. Let me get a pair of scissors. Watch this. If I can find a pair. Well, I just had them.
It's nice to see that you have the same problems I have.
Here, I'm just gonna cut over your serving. Right? So because it's been sitting on a rack like that, look, I just cut that, right? I'm gonna peel it off the print.
You just peel that off the film?
Yeah, that's DTF. Look how much I can stretch it.
Yeah, I know. I did this with. I printed.
But what I'm saying is that's 8 months old. That's 8 months old. I've been taking that print. You saw a section of it cut out, and I've been writing down how old, and I want to see how long a print can actually sit and not be used. But even just cutting it still has stress. Great. So so far I've been able to do with the inks, films, and all that I'm using up to a year. I've had prints up to a year that still work fine. And the reason I did that is because I printed my own tags, like in the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
So like Hanes has a lot of t-shirts where it has the pull tag, so you can just rip the tags out. So I press in the back of the shirts, it says Urban Apparel, and it says the size and gives you, wash instructions, whatever, directly in that. But I printed like thousands of them, right? And at the time, it was because they're so small, you're just, you're printing so wide, you don't realize when you're printing. I'm like, shit, did I just waste all this? But I think I'm gonna be fine.
Try storing them in the freezer.
Yeah, so I've had different methods of trying to store them.
Put them in a Tupperware container and put them in their freezer.
Had that too. I can go grab one and actually show it to you, sit right there on the floor. I tried that too. You know what I mean? But like I said, so far that rack has been the best solution. Said, hi guys, I'm from England. 2 a.m. here, just finished work.
Awesome.
Thank you for
we applaud your dedication.
Absolutely.
I'm usually waking up about 2 a.m.
to go to the bathroom.
No, to get up. Not that I want to. That's just what happens.
Appreciate joining. Let us know if you have any questions, anything. We're happy to help. Otherwise, thanks for joining. That's awesome. Razor Ray said my neighbor didn't like his lawn, so he had it removed and hauled in a new one. So some people do that. They don't want to deal with the weeds. and they're like, screw this, and they kill their whole lawn,
Yeah,
and they till the whole lawn, put a
but
whole
then
new
in
lawn
2
down.
years, you're just looking at the same problem, right?
Yeah, that's
So you
true.
do a whole bunch of work 1 year, you get one nice year, and then the next year you got to do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not worth it. That's why I look at it and go, yeah, whatever.
Uber said, I got rid of my crabgrass. I wouldn't have anything green. If I got rid of my crabgrass, I wouldn't have anything green in my yard.
Yeah. Like when we bought this house, which is, my God, 7 years ago already, everything in the lawn that was green was a weed. But I actually have grass now, which is one big achievement. There's still lots of weeds, but it's not like my previous lawn.
Brad Dewey said, hey, Rick, any progress on those stickers? That's just been my bad. I've just been busy. It's fallen on the back burner. Yeah, you know what? This weekend I want to put my basement back together, and I'll be doing some 3D printing. And as we all know, 3D printing is not fast. So I'll have a backlog of things going to be printing, and while that thing's just doing its thing, I'll come up and start getting this this guy running. So. Said hi, Derek Smiley Woodworks. Oh, okay. Just different name. I just put a brand new lawn, replace the slabs. Any good ideas? A brand new lawn? If you put a brand new lawn, that I would suggest that you put lime granules down. And the lime granules, because it's going to equal out it's going to pH balance your dirt. And you can't over lime, so to speak, because it's like a pH balancer. It's not like or a neutralizer. And start with that, and maybe a weed and feed to prevent things. A preventer one, because you just put a brand new lawn. Because as Steve said, great, you got all this new sod. Great, you got this whole new lawn. But if you don't prevent it, it's going to come. But as far as a new lawn as well, if you're looking at fertilizers, there's a difference between fertilizer and a starter fertilizer. So there's special fertilizers that are for new lawns. And what Steve was saying also earlier, it'll make your roots grow. It's not concentrated on your dirt, but you'll see it. It'll say starter fertilizer. I put starter fertilizer on it. And you may think you're just wasting your money because you don't see any difference in your lawn. It's because your grass isn't growing, but your roots are. With a new lawn, that's what you want to do. You want to take root into the dirt. That was my Mexican advice.
Landscaping.
Yeah. That's why I say Mexicans are the best cooks in the world, because I don't care what the sign says, go in the kitchen. Mexicans are the best landscapers in the world because I don't care who owns the company, who's doing the work. So great. Thank you, sir. Yep. You're welcome. We generally won't give a lawn advice, was more to the woodworking, but hey, you never know. We're all into that stuff. So yeah.
I try to put a bit of lime pellets on my lawn in the spring, but I have no time.
I do it 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
But I would tell people that it's great to do it during the summer. It's great to do it during the spring. But the number one time that you can do anything for your lawn is the end of season.
Yeah.
Oh, right before the leaves hit, right before it snows, because all that stuff is just gonna soak into the dirt and kind of just slowly dissolve because it's not getting a lot of rain, it's not getting whatever. And that spring, the following spring, you're gonna have the best lawn you ever had. Yeah, that's the way you do it. All right, Steve, you're up.
Tim says, so Steve, when does your new toy arrive? This would be the 01. And when can we expect a video? I believe it's tomorrow. Some more pieces have been arriving for this thing for the last week. I believe the printer itself is coming tomorrow. And as far as the video, it will be pretty soon after, because Xtool is like, they wait till the last minute to send it to me. It gets caught up in shipping and customs and everything else. And then they say, okay, you got the printer. When can we have a video? Can you have it by the 29th? And it's like, okay, it's the 22nd already. Like, no.
So since I'm seeing a lot of different, go ahead, you're done, Steve. Didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
I was just going to say, since we're seeing a lot of new names in the lives lately, I kind of wanted to give you guys a baseline. If you're ever wondering why I or Steve read the comments, because you're like, hey, Rick, I can see them. There's a lot of people who listen to our podcast and don't necessarily watch, especially people now with TVs. And they don't necessarily have the ability to immediately reply. Then they see something, they jump on their phone, they jump on their laptop, or they're at work and they're not supposed to be listening, but they're listening and they're here on the phone. A ton of people do that as well. So that's why I always read them, or Steve always reads the comments. So just a heads up.
I personally think anyone who's working should be listening to us.
Absolutely. It's going to make time go by much faster.
But don't fall asleep at work. That's not a good thing.
And then the other thing is that this is a live question and answer. This is not scripted. Steve and I do not sit down and say, this is a specific topic we're talking about. We may bring something up. We may talk about things, but the live really has a life of its own, really based on what questions you guys ask. So if we're talking about DTF, if we're talking about DTG, if we're talking about CNCs, anything to do with being an entrepreneur business, and you have a off-the-wall random question, you're not throwing us off key topic, because there is no key topic. It's really whatever you guys want to ask. So whether it be, how do I be an influencer, or how do I increase my SEO score, or how do I get business, or go under a trade show, whatever it has to do with anything, the nature of the business or the nature of the beast of what we do, ask away. Really anything entrepreneur related. Steve and I kind of both have our hands in that, as well as the audience. The audience actually answers a lot of questions as well.
I sometimes try to. I have some agentic AI that runs out and finds new stuff for me. Just what's going on. And this week, it actually the agent when it ran said that this was a quiet week. So nothing happened. So there you go.
That's kind of funny. So what's the newest tool in your workshop?
What's your newest tool in your workshop? Well, mine would probably. Well, this is a hard question to answer because I got a lot of tools that are still sitting in boxes.
Yeah.
The Hey Gears G1X is probably the newest, most interesting tool I have right now.
So I have some crazy stuff that I accepted only because I would actually personally use it and I wanted to try it out. I have some pressure wash tools. Some very interesting things that I'm going to show. Because before the summer ends, I want to reseal my driveway so I'm good for the winter. So I wanted to be able to clean my driveway really, really well. And they have some rotary tools and some crazy stuff. So that's unexpected. Something probably I not would do all the time. But tools in general is something that I do reviews on. So we'll see. So that's something new to me that's not normal to my channel.
Yeah, I do one of those every once in a while. The Luba 3 mower is the next one. Yeah. I'm actually working on it today, but today it poured rain all day, so I can't really be out on the lawn. But yeah, I mean, there's always a reason, right? Like this is a time saver for, like, if you're a maker, right? You don't want to be out on a lawn for a couple hours a week just doing crap, cutting grass, thinking about, serenity or whatever goes on in your mind when you're cutting a lawn. Like, I'd rather just have my mower drive by my shop and then I can get to work, right? So
14 hours it takes to cut my grass.
Yeah, it takes me about 3 hours a week in the summer.
Yeah. Tim said I call this.
I mean, I'm on a tractor. Well, you're on a tractor too, I guess. But
yeah. The difference, I guess, what the reason it takes so long on my property is I have a lot of trees. If it was just a field and you could just rip through it, it'd be different. But you're going around and, so that's us.
Yeah.
Tim said, I call this hangout on Wednesday nights. Yeah, Shop Talk Live, we say happy hump day. That was kind of a thing that everyone used to say when we first started the live was happy hump day, happy hump day. We haven't said that in a while.
Interestingly, Tim comes and hangs out on Wednesday nights for 2 hours, but when he comes to my shop, he's like 2 minutes. I gotta go.
Yeah. So Andy once said, if someone was to ask what is Shop Talk Live, it's like a couple guys drinking in the garage, shooting the shit, talking shop talk, and that's what it is. So some people, to be honest, they may not have questions. They just come for the camaraderie, the brotherhood, just the fellowship, talking, venting. I personally enjoy this because to me it's like a decompression, like my release.
Speaking of brotherhood, there's Clack right there.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the Lima 3 is pretty sweet. I've actually had it for a while. The nice thing about it is it's got LiDAR, right? So you don't have to really do anything to get the thing to cut your grass. You just it'll actually create its own zone on your lawn to cut. I would prefer to do the outline manually myself, but after that, you don't have to create tree avoidance or any of that kind of stuff. I did do a specific no-go zone around my pond just in case, I would really hate to see the thing in the bottom of my pond.
That would suck.
It's waterproof.
So Clack showed up and no one said Clack 3 times. So
well, you said it once. Maybe he's getting better.
Yeah, so he missed the last 2 lives, so maybe he was making up for it. All right, Steve.
Tim says, you don't have a wife sitting in the car. Well, you can bring her in. You can put her to work. She doesn't have to sit in the car. Although the first time Tim came to my shop, his wife went for a walk with their dog. And our dogs, my wife was out walking on the street with our dogs, and our dogs are just maniacs, right? So I think they intimidated her. I'm not sure.
She came back. She's like, "There's this asshole lady," and then she got to the house.
Well, that might be the case. I'm not privy to that conversation, but it's quite possibly true. Because our dogs are just idiots.
Chris said, May the Clack once echoed. Instead of Clack 3 times, it echoed. Too funny. Yeah, so summer's almost over, man. Kids getting ready to go back to school. 3 weeks to go back to school. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like literally, they just ended school. Like, what's this? This is the 20th. Like 3 weeks ago. And now we're already talking about. Like I see back to school.
Yes.
Apple had a back to school sale of 2 weeks ago. It's like, what are you talking about? These kids just went to the beach last week. And now they're having these back to school sales already.
So maybe some people would be upset about this, but I don't think so. Lowe's wanted to give me like this 35-foot tall blow up soccer player. I don't watch soccer. I'm Mexican. I know I don't watch soccer. And they were like, we want to give you this. You could put it in your yard, and it's some well-known soccer player. And then on your live, you can give them away. I'm like, I don't want to give that away. But we'll give it to you for free, and then you can give away. I'm like, I don't want to.
You could shine your big flashlight on them at night.
I was like, and I even showed my wife. I'm like, what do you think? Like, do you think people would actually want this? I know there are a lot of people watching soccer right now. She goes, I don't want that on my front lawn. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, that's not a hard argument. I didn't really want this thing anyways. But yeah, so they're already advertising Halloween.
Yeah, it's I don't know. This makes me sad because it's just like things are going so fast.
Yeah, part of the reason is the kids get out of school. They're out of school like 30 days before summer officially starts, right? At least in our area.
Well, elementary school, it's usually like somewhere near the end of June, right?
Right. No, no. Like the month before June, they were off way. Yeah. So
yeah, kids here go till like I don't know. It's like the 20th of June.
Yeah, and here it's May. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So they're out all May, and then June comes. So they're like out a month before summer actually starts. If it was a little, but whatever. Ricky goes back to school in 3 weeks.
So you start earlier
Yeah.
because school here doesn't start until after Labor Day.
You want to grab this one, Steve?
Chris says your watch is slow. It's the 23rd here. Yeah, you live on the wrong side of the planet. Well, we won't say the wrong side. The other side of the planet.
Clark said school starts on the 7th here. So what is that?
See, we don't start till like September 3rd or 5th,
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
Yeah, so he's right with my son. Yeah, so 3 weeks. That's when my son starts too.
It's still summer. Why would you want to send your kid back to school in the summer?
Yeah, the pool's still be open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim said only 1 hour and 36 minutes, Chris.
Yeah, I'll be asleep by then, so I never see it.
Chris said school starts every day I walk into my workshop.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, but I'm the teacher and the student.
So, Chris, funny thing about that, what teaching my son is when I went to journeyman school, and I think I've mentioned this before. When I went to journeyman school, and these kids are 18 years old, and they're running backhoes, skid steers, boring machines, all these machines, and they're 18. They're just running circles around me, like humiliating me. That's how bad I am, right? And I'm like, this sucks, like I feel prideful, maybe you want to show them something. You're older than them. And finally, one kid said to me, he said, "Hey, Rick, don't feel bad, bro. My dad had me running skid steers and backhoes since I was 8 and 9 years old. So Ricky, at 5 years old, I'm teaching him how to use a backhoe. And obviously it won't operate unless you sit on the seat, but he's not tall enough. So he just got his butt cheeks on the edge of the seat so it'll actually, feel the lever. And he's digging out a tree stump from my front lawn. So I take a video of him and I tag the president of IBW of the state of Illinois. And he replies back and says, "How old is he?" And I said, 5. He says, when he's 18, he's definitely got a job. But I really took that to heart, man. And I made my son learn all kinds of stuff. But he can run anything. This kid's amazing.
Yeah, your goal is to have him take the job that this kid has now, and he'll have your job, and your kid can make him feel old.
Yeah. So exactly. That's
your revenge.
Yeah, exactly. My father was a builder. He's part of the Newark Airport project, Denver Airport project. Built subdivisions, 300 plus homes up and down the East Coast. And he actually told me, he's like, "I don't want you to do this for a living." He said, "The only reason I'm teaching you all this is because I want you to be able to do this for yourself. Or I want, if you're paying someone to do some of this for you, that they're not ripping you off because you know better. I don't want you to do this at all." And I was like, wow. I ended up in the trades anyways. but he really wanted me to get an IT in the computers. He's like, computers are the future. You got to do that. And he was really pushing me towards IT. When IT in 2000 just bombed out, I went in the field. And kind of funny, full circle back. Now I'm back in IT and I'm modernizing our power grid, right? But crazy. Razor Ray said, "Chris is from the future."
Yeah.
Clark said, "Our summer starts in May, but runs to October." Exactly.
Yeah.
To be honest, November, and hardly even snows anymore. My wife was actually saying, "Rick, if you bought a pool heater, I bet we could swim till November," which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, summer for me, and I mean, Tim lives not too far from me, but his weather will be completely different than mine. Like the weather is still nice here right into almost November, in the middle of October.
Well, if you've ever seen the video of Clark showing the winter storm he had with all the snow that was on this hood of his car, did you see that? Did you ever see that video?
No, but given
where
he lives, I can imagine.
It was like a quarter inch of snow. It was like really. It was like
it's like I'm shoveling my snow.
He's still cutting his grass in November. It was funny.
Yeah, well, I should be cutting. I always pull my robot mower in probably 3 weeks too soon.
Yeah.
Because then the lawn gets all scraggly and it hasn't snowed yet. It won't snow here till December, almost Christmas time, and then it'll snow and melt, and then it's good till January before snow actually stays. But
yeah,
it's kind of a unique climate, right where I live. But
that's crazy. Where most people assume, like I said, you live in igloos. You get 4 feet, 5 feet of snow, and it's always freezing cold. So not off Canada.
I think I mentioned this before, but last year, my neighbor across the street, who's not from here, I don't think, he tried to build an outdoor rink for his kids to skate on, and he'd go out there and he'd flood the thing on at night, and the next day it would rain. Go out again. And I noticed after a while he wasn't looking after it anymore. And I said, what happened to your outdoor rink? He said, you can't have an outdoor rink here. They do have them, but they're like artificial ice, right? So because it's just the weather here is just so crazy. It's up and down all the time.
Yeah. My wife has asked me to do that. I have not done it yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Now you see, your wife is from Quebec. They got real winter there.
Yes.
They get a lot of snow and a lot of cold.
Yes. But it looks like we're at 8:31. We're 1 minute over time. We did catch up in all of our comments and questions today. Appreciate a lot of people checking in and let us know when you're joining. Definitely appreciate the new people. And if you made it this far in the live and you're not already a member, I would highly suggest that you join our Facebook group. Steve's got some surprises coming out lately, so be on the lookout for some of his new videos. Steve, you want to close this out?
No. Have a good week,
everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. God bless.
Take care all.
See you on the next one. Bye.